4 minutes after the hour, final half hour of Daybreak Live on a Thursday morning, the 19th day of May. We're joined by Michele Eller, Board of Education Superintendent, Sylacauga City Schools System. And Dr. Eller, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us this morning. And we've almost got through the school year, just another, week or so to go before graduation?
Another week and a day.
Yeah, let's kind of recap the year, first of all. And this is, I guess, portions of 3 school years affected by COVID-19.
Yes, we're still, in that aftermath of the pandemic, and of course the lingering COVID this year that we hoped would not be there. And so, so this is our 3rd year of this trajectory.
Well, let's talk about what has been a successful year in your first year as Superintendent of Sylacauga City Board of Education.
Yes, so when I arrived, we created a clear plan of how we were going to target the achievement gap that we knew that existed, how we were going to bridge those standards and skills that we knew the students had fallen a little bit behind in because of COVID, because of the pandemic and the virtual learning and all of those other factors. And so with part of that plan, we ensured that we had instructional coaches in our buildings to assist our teachers. We had intervention teachers. We had programs. We implemented professional development to equip our teachers in what they needed to do. And all of those things that we put in place, we are now seeing through the data that it has been successful. And that's exciting to see. And we're still getting data in, but our preliminary data shows that the efforts we put in place this year have actually bridged that gap, just like we wanted it to. Now, we're not where we want to be, but making huge gains in the aftermath of a pandemic is worth celebrating.
None of us have ever been through anything like, hopefully we're coming out the backside of COVID-19, and there's still some issues here and there, still pockets of the illness, and I know that you guys are still very particularly careful with our students and our faculty.
Yes, we are, and we have been all year, and we had to, of course, incorporate some of those mask mandates in times that we had the peaks, and those worked to help lower the numbers and lower the exposure, and those were successful because our community joined forces with us and let it be successful.
Yeah. Let's talk about, Dr. Eller, the successful class of 2022, this group of graduates.
We are so proud of them. They graduate next Thursday night out at Legion Stadium at 7 p.m. We have right now 158 graduates. Wow. We had their award ceremony 2 days ago. And these students, and the numbers are still coming in, but our preliminary numbers, they have earned over $1 million in scholarships.
Hey.
I mean, it's amazing to see what this group of students has been able to accomplish, considering most of their high school career has been through a pandemic. They've been able to really accomplish great things, and so we are so proud of this class.
Wow.
They are a special group.
It is mind-boggling to think what all this senior class has gone through in the last 3 years.
And this class is filled with a lot of leadership, and that's so promising to see in young adults, is to see that leadership flourish. And we have, that this group is really going to be missed.
Yeah. As educators, we look at the end of the school year, and then we kind of look at, well, who's going to be where next school year? So it's a never-ending cycle, and there are some changes taking place within our school system.
There are, and my motto is that anytime we make a change, it is because that's what's best for students. And so if we keep that in the forefront of the decisions we make, we're always going to do the right thing. And so we have some shifts taking place. We have some shifts with administrators. We have some shifts with teachers. We have, there may be some shifts with coaches, just so that we have the right people in the right place to do what needs to be done.
Yeah, let's talk about one of the positions spotlighted as far as change is concerned is from Nichols Lawson to the high school. We have a new principal coming there, but he's not new to our system.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Mr. Rivers has been with our system for a very long time. He is, of course, very well respected. He has a very good relationship within the community, within the parents, within the students. I was thrilled when he agreed to come to the high school. I think that he's going to really take us now on where we need to go.
Well, Gary is very successful in our community, well known, as you said, and he'll take over the reins. Now, when will he officially take over at the high school?
His first official date will be July 1st.
Okay.
But he and Mr. Hodge have already been working collaboratively together so that there's a smooth transition going.
And Mr. Hodge, great guy. I
Yes.
really personally liked him as a leader of Sylacauga High School. He'll be missed.
Yes, we appreciate all that he's done this year. He's had some health conditions, and his family has as well. And so it was not an easy decision for him to make, but he needs to be with them.
So where do we go with Nichols Lawson as far as the new principal is concerned?
So we, of course, have been recruiting all over, both outside and within. And we have a committee that will actually start interviewing next week.
Okay.
And so
I didn't get my interview invitation, so I guess I'm out. But recruiting is something that's always at the forefront of your mind in getting wonderful educators for our students.
Yes. Well, and what we found is the more we can recruit from within, the better, because then, these are our community leaders, these are our stakeholders that will stay here. And so one of the things that we did this year that they had not done before is we actually held our own employment fair at central office and had an evening where individuals in the community could come in and learn about different opportunities to work in our system, and also learn how they could become certified to teach. And so we actually have hired 2 from that hiring fair and are working with them so that they can get their certification.
And it's not just educators, it's bus drivers, maintenance people. And
Yes. We need it all.
Yeah.
And who wouldn't want to work for the city school system?
Absolutely. Dr. Michele Eller, Superintendent of Sylacauga City Board of Education, our guest this morning. All right, let's talk about the class of 2022 and this school year. A lot of great accomplishments have taken place, and a lot of young people have stepped forward and are really making a difference.
Yes, they are. I think about Miss Lacey Wood, of course, our Miss Sylacauga. She's also,
you see her everywhere now.
Yes, she's also president of the student council, and is involved in just about everything. And I think she's been a great role model for her peers and underclassmen. And then we have other shining leaders coming through in this junior class. And so, like I said, I spent most of my career teaching high school. So high school's always going to have a little special place in my heart. And to see these young students really excel as leaders in their peers, it's promising. It's very promising, as an adult for the future. One of the things that we implemented this year across the board was a program called Peer Helpers. And that really helps cultivate leaders from the elementary level all the way up. And so at our award ceremony yesterday at Nichols Lawson, they awarded and recognized those individuals that were part of that Peer Helpers program. And so that also, is great to see in our schools that we're doing this even at an elementary level, is instilling leadership.
Yeah, I know you saw my grandson Zachary Thomas. He had one of those certificates for peer leaders, and he was excited about that.
Yes.
And we got children coming up from early age to be seniors next year, and it's just a great time with the Sylacauga City Schools System. I know you're awfully proud.
Yes, I am. Our teachers have worked tremendously hard this year in the midst of all the challenges. They're the reason our students have been successful.
Let's talk about budget a little bit. I know we've been able to do some things down at the stadium, changing out the lighting system and stuff like that. Talk about that a little bit.
So with our public school funds, we received a pocket of public school funds this year, and that's not normal. So with these funds, Dr. Hubbard and I sat down and looked at just our top priorities that we knew we had across the district. We actually are getting a new roof at Pinecrest this summer. The lights on the stadium were part of that project.
That's what, LED lights?
Yes, LED lights. So they can be controlled by your phone. So we're going to get into the 22nd, 23rd century now. We will, they're up and ready for graduation. Now just the white lights are on. I'm told we'll have lots of colored lights later on, but they'll have to come in and install that later. We wanted to make sure we at least had the white lights for graduation.
Yeah. What schools in the system are in need of attention physically?
Well, all of our schools need attention as far as just cosmetic, as far as, painting the insides. We've got pockets of our schools that need maybe some new flooring or updated flooring. But for the most part, all of our buildings, are in very good condition, with the exception of Pinecrest. That's our oldest. And so that probably needs a little more attention than our other buildings. But we've been able to really do some upgrades throughout the school year and give some of our buildings a little bit of a facelift.
Security is paramount. We see it seemingly every week where there's been an incident in a school or somewhere in our country, and I know that's very important to you to take care of not just our students, but our faculty and visitors as well.
Yes. So one of the things I did at the high school is, we have multiple doors that go in that building. And so
it seems like doors are everywhere.
Yes. And, you've got an older generation pocket that we're used to using one set of doors. You've got another generation that we're used to using another, and then now we have the front set. And so for security purposes, I have limited all visitors to those front doors only. And, I know that causes a little bit of an inconvenience, but that keeps us safe, because if we know that all visitors are only going through one set of doors, it's easy for us to be able to maintain them coming in and out, and the office is right nearby. To me, it was a little bit of a safety hazard to have visitors coming in the back door and then wandering through the school to finally get to the office. And so I know there's probably some individuals that are not happy with me for making them walk all the way around to the front.
That's me beating on that other door,
But for the safety of our students and the safety of our parents and the safety of our teachers, that's the right course of action.
I saw a story not long ago about kids in, I don't forgot where it was, maybe in West Virginia, somewhere like that, that were hungry coming to school. And how that affects their learning capabilities. And we've got a great nutrition program here with our Sylacauga City Schools System.
We are very blessed. And if you've not eaten in our lunchroom, I advise you to eat, because it's good.
Yeah.
I always try to eat anytime I'm in the schools around lunchtime.
And you got some great leadership there for that team too.
We are very blessed with both, leadership from the central office with Ms. Wasserman, and of course with our lunchroom managers as well.
Yeah, wow. Dr. Michele Eller, Sylacauga City Schools Superintendent, with us for another minute or two. Already looking ahead at 2023 school year, what's on the table that you're looking at?
Well, we're looking to see which things we will stay the course with. We're looking at our data to see which areas we need to improve in. If you're not constantly looking to see how you can get better, you're not going to get better. And so those are some of the things we're doing now. We're pulling data and looking to see what is our attendance data, our discipline data, our achievement data. Where do we see the goal, our holes in that? Where do we see the gaps still? And what things can we put into place to fill those gaps for the next school year? So a lot of people think, oh, well, summer's here and educators just get to, have summer off, but we don't. And especially when you're in leadership role, summer is the time when you're gathering everything together to really prepare for that fall. You know, when school starts in the fall, you can breathe a little bit.
Yeah. Before we go this morning, where does Sylacauga City Schools rank among other schools in the state of Alabama as far as our Alabama Board of Education is concerned?
It depends on which ranking you're looking at. So if you're looking at the ranking that, like, let's say that U.S. News puts out for top 100 or top 10, that ranking is based solely on your ACT achievement on one test given one time.
Wow.
So, you know, with the pandemic, it was really hard for our students to get the rigorous instruction they needed, the ACT practice they needed, and then trying to take a test in the middle of COVID is a little difficult. And so some of the efforts we put in place this year were really focused on at the high school, that ACT prep. And really not just preparing the students, but also preparing our teachers to teach at that level of rigor. And we've already seen the dividends of that. We put in periodic testing throughout this school year for our 9th, 10th graders, so that they actually were able to practice with mock ACT test, retired ACT test. And then from that, we built them a pathway of skills that they could work on to help improve their scores. And our freshmen gained 3 points from fall to spring.
Right.
Our sophomores gained 3.4 points from fall to spring. And our juniors that just tested went up a point from the pre-ACT to the ACT. So we're seeing those gains, and if we stay this course of action in that building and in our other buildings, we're going to see our ranking go up.
What are other systems in Alabama saying about Sylacauga City Schools?
I hear rumblings that there's others that, you know, I think we're beginning to get noticed for what we're doing. You know, Sylacauga's always had a great reputation. But I think others are starting to look to see, well, what did they do in Sylacauga? I've had several invites to conferences and other events to talk about the things that we're doing here, and that's exciting.
And as we leave this morning, speak to parents and grandparents of the children that they entrusted you guys to educate.
First and foremost, I would like to just say thank you. Thank you for your support, your encouragement. Because of you, we've been successful. You know, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
And so without the support of parents entrusting us, we wouldn't have the success that we have. I would also say, don't let the learning end in the summer. We have lots of summer programs scheduled. We have programs at each 4 schools, from reading camps to STEM camps to bridges to ACT prep to workforce development to credit recovery. We're also offering credit advancement this summer, so if you've got a high school student that wants to get ahead, they can actually take high school courses this summer and get high school credits and get ahead on their high school career, including driver's ed. So I just say thank you.
All right. Continued success, Dr. Michele Eller, Superintendent of Sylacauga City Board of Education. Thank you for your service and completing your first year as superintendent. As a matter of fact, June the 1st, right?
June 1st.
All right. Way to go. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming today. Dr. Michele Eller, Superintendent of Sylacauga City Board of Education, our guest this morning on Daybreak. More coming up right after this.